Getting ready to relocate? Let's talk about moving with houseplants. What's up, fellow plant enthusiasts? My name is Dylan and this is Bane's Botanicals. Today we're going to talk about moving with houseplants. Now this was a video request and I think it's a good one because I've had some experience moving with houseplants and it can be very daunting if you're not ready for it. So I just wanted to give some tips of things that you might take into consideration when you're getting ready to move. First and foremost, how big is the space where you're going? Is your new apartment or your new house, does it have space for all of your houseplants? And if not, you may want to consider kind of scaling back your collection a little bit. You may want to consider that anyway, even if you do have the space, just because moving a bunch of houseplants can be very arduous. I have about 75 right now, and if I had to move across the country, I would probably ditch at least half of these plants. Not because I don't love them, but because it's just not practical to do that. It's different when you live maybe in the same city and you're relocating. You can kind of take them little by little. But yeah, it's not a bad idea to cut back a little bit on your collection sometimes anyway, just because sometimes less is more. And that's kind of the phase I'm in right now. I think at my peak, I had about 120 in my house and there just wasn't enough space and watering was taking too long and some things were getting neglected on certain plants. So I thought, well, I just need a little bit less. So that's what I've been working on and I'm not even moving. So another thing you want to consider is the weather when you're moving. Even if you're moving a short distance, cold can be very traumatic to plants, especially if you have something sensitive like a ficus. Ficus tend to not like sudden changes in temperature, and in general they don't like being relocated from their current spots anyway. So be prepared for a little bit of kickback from some of your plants that just don't like being moved at all. But definitely consider the weather. You want to try to avoid moving when it's really cold, and if it's really hot, you don't want your plants to be sitting in a car for an extended period of time because of potential sunburn and because the heat of the car is going to be a little too extreme even for plants. There are a couple of things that can make the move a little bit easier. I mean, you should expect there to be a little bit of a mess because let's say you have your plants in the car and somebody slams on their brakes in front of you. You might spill a pot or two and there might be some dirt. That's just part of it. But as houseplant owners, we know that mess is part of the adventure, I guess. And you may expect there to be some damage from some of your plants, especially if you have a lot of plants and if you've packed them maybe in such a way that there could just potentially be an accident. Something like this aloe that's in flower, I would be very concerned about this flower stalk getting damaged somehow because it's just kind of loose and by itself. Even something like this begonia, I mean, it's pretty sturdy. I mean, but if it fell just right, it's going to crack some of these leaves for sure. Now with little pots, you can put them in a bigger container like a plastic tote or something that you can kind of put them closer together so that they don't do a lot of moving. You could even go as far as maybe putting maybe like a pillowcase or a sheet in the plastic tote just to kind of insulate the pots a little bit so that they're not doing that much moving at all. Now with bigger plants, I mean a big plant like a 6-foot plant is probably going to go in a U-Haul or it's going to go maybe in the back of a truck if you're not moving too far, like a pickup truck. If you do the pickup truck thing, just make sure you go slow. You don't want to blow all the leaves off your plant. Or better yet, if you're able to lay the plant down in the bed of the truck, that would probably be better. When it comes to bigger plants, if they are in the back of a U-Haul, just make sure that they're secured somehow so that they don't tip over. And you also want to make sure that you don't want to have a dresser or something fall on top of your plant and destroy it. As hardy as our plants are, we have to take into consideration the fact that they are still fragile, that they can take damage from extreme temperatures and extreme wind and being neglected for too long. My big problem when I moved the last time was that I moved into my new place almost right away and gradually brought the rest of my stuff over the course of maybe 3 weeks. So during that 3 weeks, my plants actually didn't get watered because I wasn't living there and I just had so much else going on that it was it was kind of a pain. So I ended up losing probably 25% of my plants just because of that. I think that's about all I had about moving with plants. Like I said, it's just something that you want to consider. Oh no, I lied. I do have one more thing. If you have any maintenance that needs to be done to some of your plants, it's probably best to do that before you move. So if you want to dust the leaves, if you want to prune off some pieces and do some trimming, that would be good. I don't think I would water right before because I think that that would make the pots heavier. I think if the pots did spill, it would make a bigger mess if the soil was wet. So if you're gonna water, I would do it maybe like a week before so that they have time to dry out, which is what I should have done. Like the day that I was getting ready to move out, I should have just watered all my plants knowing that they were going to sit there for a while. But I didn't do that. So yeah, just if you have any pest problems, try to take care of your pest problems because you don't want to get into your new place and then have it be like, oh, I have all these things now I have to do with my plants and they're going to make a mess and my place is new and clean. It's just something you want to have squared away. So please let me know if you guys have any other tips about moving with houseplants. Let me know some of your experiences and just trust that there are people that read your comments because we do have a nice little community on this channel and any suggestions you give, they will probably help somebody. And thank you guys so much for contributing. I love that everybody kind of pitches in and I just love reading your stories and everything personally because this is really special what we have here. It's really nice getting to have these connections. So thank you also for your likes and for your subscribes and everything and for attending my live streams and stuff. We have a lot of fun. So I've got some other ideas brewing for some series I want to do on the channel. So stay tuned for that. And until the next video, I will see you guys very soon. Thank you.